this crazy stuff. But and also how it's connected to the masculine, feminine, the twin flame energy that never has had its moment yet. But what happens to men or people or women, and this is, let's say he is caught up in COVID land, and he starts tripping, right? He got the shot. He's like, this is the way the land goes, and he's tripping. And Guinevere had a twin sister that was a little crazy. Let's say she never wore a mask. And at last the strange knight smote him to the earth and gave him such a buffet on the helm as a well nigh killed him. What happens is Arthur seems to think that because there was so much magic and trickery and shit going on in Camelot, that Guinevere is now attached with being looked at as, wait, were you swapped? So King Arthur goes crazy and believes that his own wife is his wife's twin sister swapped now. And he just decides to be like, she's done. I'm going to burn her and kill her. And Lancelot knows, his number one knight of the Knights of the Round Table. Should probably load all these pictures. I think I'll load that one, and then I'll load. Also, the story of Lancelot and the Black Knight I want to go into. But this is all about chivalry, and this is all about the twin flame energy and love, and how the reason why it didn't happen then, the negative aspects, and also the masculine and the feminine stuff that we're going to go into today. And then it's going to all connect with Chiron, because we still haven't gone there. So, of course, right, so the Round Table and the Holy Grail, which we could use the Holy Grail as the understanding of this super celestial place we're all trying to reach. It's not physical as much as the Grail and the Grail quest requires both. But of course, Lancelot was the number one knight, right? And he was the leader of all the Knights of the Round Table, the 12, the Templar Knights. But it's kind of funny, like, Gawain was, of course, one of the biggest knights, too, but he also wanted to kill Lancelot, and then they became friends and all this crazy stuff. But anyway, there's, like, this protection element, or if we were to look at the light work, or where we're all trying to go, or what we all been called here for, in the same essence of being in the spherical to reach the holy divine, right? That as light workers, we all have this higher calling in life. But the story of Lancelot and Guinevere, the reason why they were the essence of what formed chivalry, and it's even in history recorded of it, there was no other story, whether it's a story or whether it came true or not, that chivalry came because one of what makes a knight honorable and one of the tests of a knight is his chivalry. It's also what Lancelot taught the knights, that you respect a woman and that you treat her like everything, and that you are a protector of the feminine, and the feminine holds the body of the most greatest things of all, love and light and everything, to connect, to do great things. The only problem with that whole story is that she was already betrothed and married to Arthur, and they chose to have an affair. So that's why Camelot fell, because of course what happens is they fall in love after Lancelot goes to save Guinevere, and then they run off and go I've taught this in one class, I think. I don't know which one, but or maybe I don't know where I talked about this, but when I went my past life regressions, it's like, okay, imagine it this way. Back then, being in Camelot, right? Minus COVID land, it's not there, okay? Let's just no COVID land, okay? Camelot's like the spot. You're best friends with King Arthur, and you're the wife of King Arthur. So these two make their whole life is based upon it. If they go live, this is gonna blow your fucking mind because I didn't even teach it this deep. They both go out to the forest and go, fuck, that was fucked up. Thank God he didn't kill you. And she's like, yeah, thank God you saved me. Well, King Arthur goes out and fucking tries to go fucking... There's two versions of the story. There's one that King Arthur came to the castle that Lancelot had and fucking tried to fucking... brought his whole army and shit. But that's not the real story. The real story is that they decide to... Lancelot brings Guinevere back to Arthur. He was the Black Knight. The knight that always scared all knights. The most respected of all knights. Well, why did he bring her back? Why didn't they just, because they realized they were in love, why didn't she just, it's not like back then they had like some fucking marriage certificate or something, right? It's just like, okay, like she could have sent a page out and been like, I'm divorcing you and goodbye, like you tried to kill me and leave the system. Here's the Saturn thing, right? Should probably do it in black. They came back because on their own, they were afraid of going up out of the system. So, well, my job, like COVID shot, like my this. So all these couples out there, the problem on the earth at the moment right now, and I brought it up in my video I did last night, is love. Well, the problem with the divine union thing is we're not in divine unions out there. Yeah, we're in lust. I like how that was brought up just now. But it's more than that. But you know what? I got it. It's V. Richmond. You got it right. Because it's the same thing. The lustfulness is the connection to the fucking system still. Right? Like, really good job. Like, that it's still connected to the fucking system. Because that's what I taught in Purgatory, right? It was like... wait, hold on. You know what? I think it's on my key note. Here we go, keynote. Yes. So when we look at, right, the lustful is at the top where you actually get put in limbo. When you're in purgatory, right? So hell, upper hell, hold on one sec. Haven't been in this one in a minute. Here we go. Here's purgatory. The excommunicated, right? So people are afraid of being excommunicated. That's like the lowest part of purgatory. We're actually like, okay, you're still in purgatory if you're being a victim that you're the unvaxxed or something like that. Like, because, okay, I'm excommunicated. Even me last night going into that was like, we're all in purgatory in some sort of way. That's the truth. And we're all trying to find a way out. And this is what Hypergate's about, is like getting out. We're all in it in some way. Okay? But really, that the gate to purgatory is when you start to be like, I'm proud of my shot. I'm doing the right thing. But I'm envious those people didn't have to do it. I'm wrathful. slothful. I'm lazy. I don't have enough love. And I'm just like there. And then it's like this too much love of, and this is not true. I proved in Purgatory that this is the false paradise. Because the only way to get to actual paradise is, you can't, there's the earth. Oh, wait, no, you got to go to Paradiso. Which you have to understand the spheres, which is what we've been teaching in astrology and knowing the dimensions of all that stuff to then get to where? To get to God, which is the same thing that Dante and all that stuff wrote about in the Rose, and that's what the Rosicrucians, and that's the understanding of how to even open up into the Templar and to get to the gate to Temple and all that shit. That's what the Rose is, okay? That's where the Rosicrucians come from. But if we really think about this, the 9 orders of angels circling around God, right? L, V, L, angels, archangels, angels, principalities, powers, virtues, dominions, thrones, cherubim, and the seraphim. 9. But that's the 9 planets too. Remember, there's 7. But then you can add Uranus is 8. Then you add 9 as Neptune, and then they don't count Pluto. It's a hidden planet. Yeah, somebody, Pluto's God. Maybe, I don't know. I think that Pluto is the doorway to, well, the only doorway to God is death. Like, to meet death, to meet God's door, or to be on God. Yeah, it's the gatekeeper. But here was another picture of just kind of the... So this is what was chosen, that they decided to cross over in the Hypergate into this. COVID. Well, what was that thing called? That fucking Lady fucking Goggins fucking the wellness fucking COVID well fucking place? Like fucking, like, these are the new flags. Like, you know, hold on, you gotta add like little masks on them. God. You have to remember, though, that they probably looked at it the same way. Like, these motherfuckers. Like, first of all, I have no problems with Arthur. Him and I have had to work shit out in a long time. But he's also wearing an incorrect cross, right? He's wearing an elongated cross. He's not wearing the cross that understands the divine. Okay? Which Merlin set this whole thing up. All of Camelot was set up as like the first trial to see through all parts of Camelot, including the Holy Grail, including the Knights Templar, including, the Round Table, including Arthur getting Excalibur and then not really using that power in the way that he could have. And then the test of course, the divine feminine and masculine, and how they get to go. They hypergate out from a horrible situation and save each other, and then decide to come back and try and do their thing, and they do learn their chivalry. He goes through he's the greatest knight that ever lived in his adventures and tales, right? Of course, she knights him for saving him, but also there is that feminine that has to knight. It's not a king. The knight's another knight. Like, only a feminine can see the honor of a masculine and how its traits are in honoring the feminine. If you destroy the feminine, if you don't respect the feminine, then nothing can be created. Everything dies. Right? But together they need each other, because the feminine can't create without the seed too. Right? that there's no way for us to just do this all just as one. We are the sacred symbol of oneness. We are the sacred oneness, but we all have to, in order to get out of this thing, not only in ourselves, we have to find our divine masculine and feminine, but we also have to find that counterpart to us too, that understands that, and that brings that chivalry. And then individually, in the community, with their partners, come together to find that grail. Now, here's an interesting way of looking at all what I'm trying to say as well. Sun and moon, soul, Luna. This is alchemy that brings the life, and you notice it's both Mercury, Mercury. Did I say reinstalled? Well, I would say that, like, yeah. Well, maybe that's a way. I don't even know if I said that. But if I did, that's what we're doing. Is we're installing ourselves into the new program together, 1 and 0 in computers. That's the whole. The 1 goes into the 0. Which, fuck, man, I'm having too much fun today. Oh wait, where did I put that picture at? Oh yeah, 1, 0. It's on Earth every day too. But once that 1 and 0 come together, okay, so we'll count. Oh man, we're gonna pick a new color. 1. Oh, here we go. 1. Oh, we're gonna have to use something way different. Blue. Okay. 1, 0, which is 10, which we see in the tree of rarity, that multiplied, but also we see that in how a computer works. And we also see that between what is the representation in numerology with planets, that Pluto is 0, because if you add 0 to anything or you multiply it by whatever, but if you time something by 0, it kills it. And in that aspect, the black, right, is 1. But what we don't see in the eternity is the 0. That any number connected with 0 brings us to a whole new set of, it creates out of the number system. 0 is the only thing that creates anything, and it's hidden, right? That's one thing going back to the work we've been doing, right? You don't see a 0. And that's why this is uninterpretable to those out there in the world. What is the horizon line of eternity? It's 0. Because you add 0 to 1, boom, like you're connecting, okay, that earth to the eternity. You're connecting the body to eternity. That the all-seeing eye is, and our eye is the 0. It is the universe seeing through our eyes. It is the windows to your soul, right? With the point, your pupil. Because if the sun is like that, which is an eye, that the eyes are the window to your soul, but it's The 0 is the eternal energy, the feminine energy that we come into and then see the masculine, the sun, soul, the definition of what the soul is. But like in all, whether it's the all-seeing eye or going back to some of the original stuff that we've been working on, man, woo.